I've got 3 manhwa that you absolutely have to read. I'm not even going to waste your time, I'm just going to straight into it. First, an honorable mention. It's Solo Leveling. Solo Leveling, I've heard about it everywhere. You've probably heard about it everywhere. If you haven't read it, what's wrong with you? Read it. 138 chapters, done, finished. It's fantastic. What I am going to be talking about is Mercenary Enrollment. Mercenary Enrollment is an action school life manhwa that follows a guy named Yu Ijin. When Ijin was 9, he was involved in a plane crash where he was a sole survivor. He becomes a mercenary and survives 10 years in a war-torn country. He then returns home after a certain event and is reunited with his sister and grandfather. This shit is just awesome. Ijin is just the most badass character, and seeing this badass mercenary adjusting to everyday school life is very entertaining. Stuff like bullies and all the crap shit that happens in school. Him adjusting to it is just fantastic. The fights are amazing. They're all mostly hand-to-hand and melee weapons combat, like how military people will do it if they don't have guns. And every now and then there is a gun or two involved, but that's not very common because it's a bit short. These fights are very well choreographed and they just look insane. The art is also fantastic, but thinking about it, I haven't read a manhwa that has bad art. And last, one of my most favorite things about this manhwa is the family. Yu Ijin's family is the most precious and adorable thing I've ever seen. They are just fantastic. Anyways, this is a must read for people who love hand-to-hand military style fights in a hugely overpowered MC. It has 19 chapters, so I'll go and read it. Next we have an isekai called The Beginning After the End. It's about Arthur Lewell. I'm sure I pronounced his name wrong, but just correct me if you can. He is different from your normal isekai protagonist, because he was a king before reincarnating. King Grey. From being a rich king to starting over and living a rather normal life, except for the fact that there is magic, is pretty cool to see. He uses his previous knowledge as king with unrivaled strength to live his life to his fullest, making his life look fantastic. Not always, but sometimes it looks really cool. The Beginning After the End manhwa follows Arthur from when he's born, and where the manhwa is now. He is about, I think, 17. I have not found any website or anything stating his canon age at the moment. But anyways, The Beginning After the End is a fantastic isekai. It takes a different approach to the normal isekai, except for Arthur being ridiculously overpowered. Otherwise, the world building is amazing, showcasing how race relations would work between fantasy races. The fights look and are amazing. The magic is beautiful. Overall, this is 100% a must read. I'm not going into much depth about this manhwa because I want people to experience it firsthand. So just read it. It's about 90 chapters long. It's not that long. Manhwa normally reads a lot quicker for me, so I got through that really quickly. Just read it. Now for the final one. Another isekai, but it's just as good as the other two I mentioned. It's a survival story of a sword king in a fantasy world. Although it is an isekai, it isn't your normal isekai. It takes a unique route the same way Beginning After the End did. Our protagonist Ryu Hanbin was a normal person who had just been discharged from mandatory military service. When he was transported to another world, he becomes Eric in this new world. What's different here is that there is a beginner stage called the starting zone before you get transported to the actual isekai world, and every person who gets isekais just go through here first. The whole isekai system bugs out, and Eric is trapped in the starting zone alone for 22 years, where he hones his body and swordsmanship while fighting disgusting monsters over and over again. The start of this manhwa is pretty depressing, with Eric being isolated for 22 years, but it gets a lot more light-hearted. But there's always the chance that the trauma he experienced might resurface, and Eric will show how badly those 22 years affected him mentally. This is a fantastic isekai. The whole world building is done brilliantly, and the fact that there are also other people who isekai'd just like him makes the world feel very different to a normal isekai. The fights are amazing and they look beautiful. This manhwa probably in my opinion is the best art out of the 3 that I'm talking about. The characters in this world are also really entertaining and likable. This is also a manhwa that you must eventually read. It lives up to all the hype, and it's only 77 chapters at the moment, so it's a quick read. Manhwa goes a lot quicker for me than normal manga, I don't know why. Well, that's that. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing, and thanks for watching, and goodbye.